University of Agriculture Sciences, Dharwad, and also other key posts, namely Director of Extension, Director of Research, Special Officer Seeds, and so on. He was advisor to the Indonesian government for development of a food crop research from 2003 to 2005. So he is also served as a senior seed production specialist for the USAID West Africa Seed Alliance ICRISAT 2008 and established a commercial seed industry in 5 countries: Mali, Burkina Faso, Nigeria, and Ghana. And also trained the staff and students in plant breeding, seed production technology, and so on. He also worked as an honorary research fellow and a consultant of Bioversity International CGIAR Institute, Rome, Indian Office, New Delhi, from 2017 to 2019. So as advisor to the government of Indonesia, advised the policymakers on promotion of wheat in Indonesia. So as a chairperson of PPV and FRA, Government of India, he promoted the capacity building in Indian agriculture universities and organized training to the faculty and students throughout India to promote conservation, protection, biodiversity, farmers' varieties, and establishment of community seed banks, clonal banks. As a vice chancellor, established a new agriculture college at Hanumanatti, and also started the new degree program BTech Food Science and Technology at Dharwad. And for the first time, he was responsible for establishment of 6 agricultural diploma colleges in different places in Karnataka. So he initiated PG program in different extra or other than what it was there at the University of Agriculture Sciences, Dharwad. 5 disciplines he has introduced as a new postgraduate programs. During his period, US Dharwad was awarded with the ISO 9001-2008 Quality Management System certificate by TUV India, German certification body for the quality management of the university. So he has developed as a plant breeder, basically developed and released 23 varieties in different crops. He was popularly known as a wheat breeder, and developed 17 varieties, which include the world's first semi-dwarf dicocum wheat variety DDK 1001, which possesses therapeutic quality and recommended for management of the diabetic mellitus and also cardiovascular diseases. One of his bread wheat variety 162 is quite popular in peninsular India and has been released for cultivation in Indonesia. So in the name of Devta. So the variety Dharwad Dry is being used by CIMID as a check variety in international trials. He is also developed genetic stocks in wheat. So that was his great contribution as a plant breeder. For his outstanding work, he was awarded with as many as 24 national and international awards, also a guarantee for the Obama Singh 21st Century Knowledge Initiative. Recently, he was awarded with the Borlaug Global Rust Initiative Gene Stewardship Award by the Borlaug Global Rust Initiative, Cornell University, Ithaca, USA, and a certificate of appreciation from the World Bank Group. So Professor R Hanchinal is a fellow of National Academy of Agricultural Sciences, National Academy of Biological Sciences, and the honorary fellow of many professional societies, including Bioversity International, Rome. Professor R Hanchinal also served as a senior national expert of Indo-German Seed Project and a consultant to the Cornell University, Sadhguru. And he is a member of Farmers Welfare Commission, Government of Chhattisgarh, and he is a chairman and member of many committees of the Government of India, and he has published many research articles which have been published in international journal of repute. So this is very little, that I could able to introduce before you, and he has contributed a lot to the agriculture science as a plant breeder, as an administrator, and his contributions are well cherished by the farmers and the scientists in the country and also internationally. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to introduce that great personality. Sir, now over to you for the topic on plant variety protection systems in India.
Thank you very much for a very long introduction. I don't know whether I deserve it or not. Anyway, good
Very good,
morning
sir.
to all of you. And the topic that has been given to me is the plant variety production system in India, which is which I love very much. And now I would like to talk on this topic. As all of you know, India is one of the biodiversity rich countries in the world. And you see, out of 17 mega biodiversity countries, India is one of them. And also, looking to the biodiversity richness, during 1951, Wavilo, the great scientist, identified India as one of the centers of diversity of origin and diversity of cultivated crops out
Sir,
of.
excuse me, sir. Just to play the slide, sir. You have to press the button, slide show button, sir. Then fully it will be visible.
It's not you are not seeing now.
It is we are seeing, sir, but there is a
Ah.
slideshow button is there. Then in the whole screen we can see only the
Oh
slide,
yeah, yeah,
sir.
you wanted that. Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
okay,
sir.
okay,
Please.
okay, okay. Thank you. 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. Can you hear me? Can you
Yeah,
now
now
see?
right, sir. Now right, sir.
Okay,
Please.
okay,
Thank
okay,
you, sir.
okay. Thank you, thank you. And India, sorry for the interruption. And India, as all of you know, as I said, it is very rich in not only in plant biodiversity, animal biodiversity, then microbial biodiversity, fish biodiversity, and many other things. But today I am concentrating on the plant variety protection and plant diversity. And as I said, out of 300,000, that is 3 lakh plant species that exist in the globe, India possesses 49,000 plant species. You just imagine about 11% of the world flora we have in the Indian subcontinent. And also, we have a lot of richness with respect to the endemic species. And in the globe, we have 34 hotspots with respect to plant species. And as per the records, 3 hotspots are in India, that is Western Ghats, Himalayan region, and Northeastern Hills region. But to me, we have 2 more hotspots which has not been recorded, but I would like to add that is the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. It has a very unique plant biodiversity which is influenced by the Burman region, that is the Myanmar region, then Thailand, then also the other countries like the Indonesia, that is Sumatran region, which is very nearer to us. So all these things, conglomeration of all these things, you find in the Andaman and Nicobar. Those who have visited there, you can see there. Just to give an example, in case of rice. Uh, the rice varieties which mature in 50 days are also there, and the rice varieties which mature in 150 days. 150 days, just to remember. So are there. That is the diversity that we have. And also the central India, particularly the Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh, again the rich diversity is there. That can also be included in the hotspots. And how this richness came, it is mainly because of our ancestors. We should not forget our ancestors. They promoted the plant genetic resources in the Indian subcontinent. And in addition to that, they selected from the weeds, or you can say the wild plant species, the plants which are very useful to them, particularly for the edible purpose and other uses. And that they developed as varieties. And also these varieties, looking to the climate resilience, now we are talking of climate resilience and other things, but as early as some 15,000 years before, our ancestors selected varieties for climate resilience, biotic and abiotic stresses, and therapeutic uses and medicinal uses when this allopathic medicine was not that developed at that time. So they developed many plant species, identified many plant species which have a lot of medicinal values and therapeutic values. And also the indigenous traditional knowledge also they developed for their uses, and innovations in informal seed systems, storage, how to store the grains and other things. They made a lot of innovations in that, and still they stands okay. And that's why I should call this the plantetic resources as the heritage of humankind. As I said, in the globe, there are more than 300,000 plant species which have been recorded, but out of which 49,000 plant species are in India. And out of these, our ancestors exploited around 9,500 species for different uses. And the out of this 9,500 plant species, 3,900 plant species are the edible species, and 3,000 species are the medicinal plant species. So why I'm telling you is this is the diversity that we have, but out of which we have exploited hardly about 272 plant species. Still, there is a lot of scope for the exploitation, and these species have been used for the food. And out of this, hardly about 150 plant species are used for the regular cultivation, and about 120 plant species have the national importance. And looking to all these things, if you look into the day-to-day human diet, about only 15 plant species have been exploited for our day-to-day needs. About 90% of the calorific need of us is met by only that. And we are very much dependent on only 12 plant species for our food and other things. Out of which, again, the rice, wheat, and maize, these are the three plant species which supply the 60% of the calories in the human diet. Why I'm telling all these things is now, because of the changes in the climate and the other things, we should have to have the diversity. Say, for example, if the something happens to rice or wheat due to the natural calamities or disease and other things, so then food famine will be there. So for that purpose, it is better to look into the more crop species, and you should have to have the more crop diversity in more crop species, that like diversity in the varieties. And now, we talk a lot about the intellectual property rights. Nowadays, I'll come in detail how this came into. And now I would like to tell you why to protect the plant varieties. There are two issues. Protect means the how to register them, why to register them, and also how to promote them. These are the two important issues. And here I would like to give some of the examples. Nawara rice, which is prevalent in Kerala, particularly near Coimbatore area. There is a place called Chittoor in that area. And this Nawara rice matures within 55 days. And it has a lot of medicinal values, and the respiratory problems, if there is anything, nervous system problem, anything. And this rice can be used, and even it is pest resistant genotype also, and this can be exploited by crossing into our for the plant improvement. And we talk of the instant foods. Our ancestors had identified the rice variety called bora rice. If you put it in the hot water, immediately rice will be ready. There is no need for cooking. And the pokale rice, and in Karnataka, this the kagga rice, dodiga rice, they're all salt resistant varieties. And now in the breeding program, the salt resistant genes have been transferred from these varieties to the other things. And today we are talking of the how to without the nutrients, say for example NPK or zinc or phosphorus, wherever there is a deficiency. Without that, how to get good yields. And now this with the CRISPR-Cas technology, lot of work is going on in this regard. But our ancestors developed varieties like Kasalat rice variety, which possesses a gene called pistol-1 gene, which fixes phosphorus from phosphorus poor soils. Like that, if we develop a variety which can fix nitrogen from nitrogen, poor soils or K poor soils, and it will be a wonderful thing. So this, if you look into our biodiversity, certainly you can identify some of the varieties in different crop species which have these characteristics. Like this, I can give you number of examples. One more, under two examples I shall give. There is a rice variety called Sarvat rice in the Ratnagiri region. I think those who are attending this webinar from that region, Konkan region, certainly they appreciate it. This acts as an antidote to poisonous snake bite. If any snake bite is there, certainly they can just prepare the rice and eat. So this is the speciality, and like that, in the northeastern hills region, particularly the Meghalaya, then the Nagaland, Mizoram, there is a one very peculiar or very innovative chili variety called Bhut Jalokia, and it has a lot of pesticidal value. So this is the uniqueness of the plant varieties, and how and there is a need to protect these things. And today, after this WTO came into existence, lot of international agreements we made it. There are 26 international agreements which the India has signed, out of which for us these are the important international agreements. That is the WTO, World Trade Organization, and wherein this instrument is trade related aspects of intellectual property rights. We in generally we call it as TRIPS, and then Convention on Biological Diversity, CBD, and because of that we could bring a law, enact a law called National Biodiversity Act, and the above one TRIPS, that is intellectual property rights, we could bring the Plant Variety Protection Act, like that. And another one is the International Treaty on Plant Genetic Resources for Food and Agriculture, which is commonly known as Seed Treaty or ITPR-FA. This is also very, very important, mainly because here lot of emphasis are given on farmers' rights, and India is one of the promote of the farmers' rights. I'll come after that. And again, the benefit sharing. Nowadays, the all the seed companies and the breeders in the university system, ICR system, that is the NAR system, they are using the farmers' varieties to develop new varieties. And what is the benefit share you are giving it to the farming community? Nothing at present. So this Nagoya Protocol has been established in 2001, and this indicates the benefit sharing principles, and India is also signatory to this. And the developed countries, particularly where they are not being given importance to the farmers' rights, there this UPAO Convention members are there. It was UPAO Convention was brought in 1961 by 5 countries, and now around 75 members are the member countries of the UPAO, that is International Union for Protection of Plant New Varieties of Plants. And again, patent cooperation treaty, this is also very important. If you want to patent your varieties to in other countries like America, where patent system is there, here we have registration system is there, their patent system is there, then you can go into this what are all the patents that have been made. If you are the convention member of the patent cooperation treaty, you will get the access to the details. And Cartagena Protocol, I don't want to tell more. This it is not much concerned, only for it deals with animals and other things. And another very, very important, particularly for the horticulture crops, is the geographical indications. So I shall give an example. Now, you may be knowing the place called the Kamlapur, which is very nearer to Bidar. There is a variety called Kamlapur banana, which has a lot of medicinal value. And that banana can be grown only in that region. that is the geographical speciality. So that variety can be registered. I shall tell in detail about these things. So these are the international agreements we have to I mean look into these. And now what are the challenges that we have with these international agreement in the process of transformation of the post World Trade Organization, that is WTO era, because of the signing of the international agreements. There is a lot of restrictions on free exchange of plant genetic resources. Before 93, the Convention on Biological Diversity came into existence in 1993. Before that, and we enacted a act called the Biodiversity Act, National Biodiversity Act, which was which was enacted in 2002. And before that, 1993, as I said, the plant genetic resources were exchanged freely, and because of that, the dwarfing genes from Daruma wheat from Japan were transferred to the winter wheats as well as spring wheats in Washington State University and Mexico, Cement Mexico, respectively, and which brought the green revolution in India. Same case with rice, DG Ujin, and also the maize. And this could happen only because of the free exchange of plant genetic resources and could bring the green revolution. But things have changed now, and because of the lot of restrictions on free exchange of plant genetic resources, now our duty is the dynamic conservation, promotion, and protection of plant genetic resources in the form of local varieties or farmers varieties or wild relatives and other things is very, very important in the seed industry point of view. Now coming to the IPR, intellectual property rights. As I said before 1993 or 1995, this World Trade Organization came into existence in 1995. We used to exchange freely the knowledge or the planting material, whatever it may be. And even, some of you who are seniors like me, you may be knowing that our teachers used to teach us freely. There was no tuition classes and other things. But today, the for some of the tuition, the academies, they charge more than 200,000 to 300,000 rupees because it is a knowledge economy. That's why in generally it is called as knowledge will. We used to call knowledge will increase when it is shared, but now it has lost the significance. Today we are in the era of encashing the knowledge. If you have knowledge, then you can start tuition classes. People will come, and you are very innovative. Many people will come. Like that, in different aspects, it is there. And the President Lincoln, American president, once he remarked that patent system adds fuel of interest to the fire of genius. In the sense, if you appreciate the innovators and give some incentives to them, and certainly they can contribute more. That's why in the developed countries, monetizing the innovations and invention has made a lot of benefits not only to those countries but also those who have invented it, and they become billionaires. That's why innovation is the key for production as well as processing of knowledge. And why again I would like to refer the developed countries, why they could become so rich and also the developed in all aspects is mainly because of their ability to convert knowledge into wealth and social goods through the process of innovation. And here in countries like India, we now started after 2000, we started a lot of innovations, and also we patent our technologies and protect our varieties through registration and so on, other so forth. But what we do is, whatever the intellectual property that we have got, we keep it in the cupboard. We only do it, just for our promotions and our career development. That's not correct. That's why Bill Gates says intellectual property has the shelf life of banana. Banana, if you just remove the peel, you cannot keep it even for half an hour. Like that, whatever the intellectual property you have obtained in different technologies, if you don't use it within 2 to 3 years, that will become old and redundant. That's why this the shelf life of our technology, I mean patents, is hardly about 5 to 10 years, and immediately we have to use this. I was talking to you about the trade-related aspects of intellectual property rights. That is the TRIPS, is an international agreement. Sorry, international agreement administered by World Trade Organization. This sets down minimum standards and regulations of many forms that are applicable to the WTO members. And as per the GATT agreement, General Agreement on Trade and Tariff, the whatever the countries would, which are the countries that would like to become the member, have to ratify. It is a compulsory requirement of the WTO members to obtain easy access to numerous international markets. If you want to export or anything, so you should have to the agree to the whatever the guidelines that have been given in the TRIPS, and they must enact strict IP laws mandated by TRIPS. This is very, very important. And because of this, the India enacted different acts after 1995. Before, we had hardly two acts. That is, one is the Patent Act, which was enacted in 1970, and Copyrights Act, which was enacted in 1957. And these are the only two acts which were existing during those days. And after, when we became the WTO member, that is the convention member in 1995, then the India started thinking to enact the other patent laws, which are, we can call it as IPR laws, which is compulsory. As a result, we could establish about 8 law, patent laws, and also one the law which governs the whole biological diversity. And the patent law, which was enacted in 1970, was amended in 2006, looking to the requirements of the WTO. And the new acts that were, and also the Copyright Act was the again amended. And now the other acts which are very important to us are Trademarks Act, particularly the seed industries, and Biological Act, that is an administrative act which governs the biodiversity of the country. That is also very, very important. It may not be IPR Act, but this governs the diversity of the country. That's why I added. And the Protection of Plant Varieties and Farmers Rights Act is also very important. And I was talking to you about the GI Act, Goods Registration and Protection Act 1999. So these are the acts that have been enacted after once we became the WTO members. And here, enacting the act is one issue, and how you manage the intellectual property through these acts is also very important. We should be like a bania in the business, then only you can achieve these things. And looking to all these things, the particularly I was talking to you about the TRIPS, that is the international obligation under TRIPS Article 27(3)(b). All the member countries have to provide protection to the plant varieties. There are three different types of plant variety protection, either by patents, you can see in US, the patenting the plant varieties, or by effective sui generis system, that is looking to the country's needs and priorities. This you can register or you can patent your varieties. And also there is a system that is the combination of both. So these are the three different types of IPR that one can get or the countries can get. But looking to the needs of your country, you can choose anything. But India, looking to the biodiversity richness and the sui generis system that we had, and since the agriculture exists in India since last more than 10,000 years, so we went for this protecting the plant varieties through sui generis system. What is that sui generis system? Means a system of your own. And we enacted the law called Plant Variety Protection and Farmers' Rights. That is, farmers' rights is looking to, the needs of the country, because our ancestors have protected the plant biodiversity since centuries and since last 10,000 or even more years. So we wanted to protect the farmers' rights and give importance to the farmers' rights. So we went for the registration, protecting the varieties through registration, and it is equivalent to patenting the varieties. And once you enact the act, then we have to formulate the rules, and we formulated the rules. And to implement the act, an authority is needed, and Government of India established the authority called Protection of Plant Varieties and Farmers' Rights Authority in 2005. And again, before registration of the crops or patenting or granting the IPR to the plants, you have to select the crops and notify those crops. And before notification, you have to develop the dust guidelines. Then only you can look into this. And this is very, very important. And what are the important objectives of our act? That is to provide effective system of plant protection, of protection of plant varieties, and also the rights of the farmers and the plant breeders. And again, the another objective is to stimulate the investment in research and development, not only by the public institutions, but also the commercial seed industry for the development of new varieties, so that you can productivity gain can be achieved this through the breeders' rights. And as I said, in India, farmers' contribution is more with respect to the conservation and protection of the plant varieties, and also the keeping I'm making available this plant genetic resource to us. For that purpose, the recognizing the farmers in respect of their contribution in all these things is also very important, and that is one of the objectives. How we are doing implementing that, I'll come afterwards. And also making the quality seeds of improved plant genetic resources available to the all the farming community is also one of the important objectives. And you may ask me, what is the necessity to register the crop varieties? What is the necessity to get the IPR? This is to confer the legal ownership on the plant breeder for the developed variety. Say for example, I have developed a variety, a hybrid in Act PPFR Act. Variety and hybrids are one and the same. we don't differentiate. Even if it is hybrid, we call it as variety. That's what we put here. And here you have developed a hybrid, and yeah, for developing hybrid, you have spent a lot of resources. And if you are not given exclusive ownership that for hybrid, then you cannot earn money. So for that purpose, this act confers the legal ownership. This is very, very important. And also grants exclusive commercial right for a limited period of time. We cannot give for more than 15 years or 20 years or 25 years or 30 years, because the plant genetic resources should be made available for the development after the protection period is over. That is very, very important. And also this helps in checking biopiracy and misutilization by unauthorized users. This is very, very common, not only in developing countries like ours, but even in developed countries also. See, this act helps in checking all the biopiracy and other things. And also, as I said, the act encourages the public and private investment for varietal research and making available the superior varieties in the market. Say for example, if you got the IPR on your name as an university professor or the ICR scientist, you that will be considered for your promotion, isn't it? And also that helps the university system or the ICR system to earn money by licensing it to the others. That's very important. And also because of that, we find the rapid growth in the production and productivity, and also indirectly improving the economy of the country. And what are the benefits of the plant variety protection? Is it, as I said, it gives exclusive rights, granting exclusive rights to produce, sell, market, distribute, import, or export of the seeds to the of the protected varieties. Even you can export it also. And also, the what are the researchers' rights? Because this developing variety is a continuous process. So researchers' rights of the protected variety is you can use the protected variety once in the crossing program to develop new things. You cannot repeat it. In backcross breeding program, they cannot use it. And also this can be used as an initial source for the development of variety for only once. And you can use for the other experimental purposes also. These are the researchers' rights, and the first one is the breeders' rights. Now, farmers' rights, very, very important for because this is a biodiversity rich country, as I said. Right to use the seed of protected variety for sowing, resowing, exchange, and sale of the produce in unbranded form. That is one thing. And right to register the traditional varieties as breeder. So that is under right there given. And also, as I said, the awards, rewards, and other things. And if there is any problem with the variety that has been developed by the industry or the university, when it goes to the fields and it does not perform, at that time he has the right to get the compensation, and also right to not to pay any fees for the registration. For example, we charge the application fee more than 12,000 rupees to the commercial industry and 2,000 rupees to the government institution for the registration, and afterwards again for annual charges. There is a lot of charges, but for the farmers there is no fees at all. And also right for protection of against, for example, if they make any innocent infringement, they are protected also. As I said, you have to before registration of a variety, before applying for getting the granting the IPR, the varieties of different crop species are to be notified in the Gazette of Government of India. And here, in this regard, already we have notified 156 plant is in cereals, the 21 plant species, legumes 8, fiber 6, oilseeds 12, sugarcane 1, and vegetables very important to you. We have vegetables cross species that can be no, apply for IPR, and flowers and ornaments 19 species, and spices 8, fruit crops 28 crop species, medicinal and aromatic plants the 9, and plantation crops 24. These are the crop species and the varieties developed in these crop species can be applied for granting IPR and intellectual property rights. And who can apply the registration of plant variety? In India, he should be an Indian. Any person claiming to be a breeder of that variety can register, or his successor also of the breeder. Say, for example, I have developed a variety, and my son, if after my death, my son can take over that variety, and he can become the breeder of that variety. Or if I assign this variety to anybody, any one of you, you can become the breeder of the variety. And any farmer or group of farmers or community of farmers, they can register the variety, develop the varieties and register as individual breeders. And also any person authorized to make application on behalf of the farmers, that can also community and farmers varieties, individual farmers can register the variety, or the group community can register the variety, or the whole district or state can register the variety. And universities, public funded institutions like agricultural universities or the ICR institutes and any other things, any institute claiming to be breeder, they can also register the variety. And now what are the documents required while filing the application? Here, most important, there are two important forms available. Form number one, which is there with the protection of plant variety farmers rights book. This is, and in a very simple way, I have written one book. You can see here. This is the. Can you hear the protection of plant varieties and farmers rights law, practice, and procedures? And it was published in 2017, and that can also be looked into. Excuse me, भाई साहब मैं आधा घंटे बाद फोन करूंगा, मैं एक लेक्चर दे रहा हूँ, आधा घंटे बाद फोन करूंगा, ओके? And here, the form number one, particularly for the registration of new varieties, extant variety, and farmers varieties, if you would like to register, so you should file the form number one. And form number two, the essentially derived varieties, that is the EDVs and the BT varieties, transgenic varieties in general, and BT cotton in particular. So you have to fill your application in form number two. And also the technical questionnaire is there, and you have to fill up the technical questionnaire. Then coming to the authorization, there are two forms, that is PV1 form and PV2 forms, and the authorization letter from the applicant to the person who corresponds with PPFR authority, that has to be given, and also the proof of right to make the application registration. This also can be given. So these PV1 and PV2 are very, very important before, if they are applicable, is very important before filing the application. And also in the application, you have to declare two very important declarations. One is the whatever the planting material, the parental lines that you use for developing a variety, you have to say that it has been legally acquired. Say, for example, if you have used farmers variety, so it means that you have taken the permission from the community or the individual farmer before using. Say, for example, this Malmadi, this no, Malapur local, this brinjal in Dharwad. If you want to use that, you would have to take the permission from the local community there. That and you have to declare that already we have taken the permission. This is a very important thing you should not forget. Otherwise, you will be put in a lot of problems. And GERT certificate, this, the terminator gene you have seen, and you should disclose that no genetic use of restricted technology was involved in the development of the variety. This is very, very important. But in some developed countries, what they do is to not to use the same thing by the farmers. They use this technique. So we have to, this is not there in India, and we have to declare. And also, if the transgenic, that is the BT varieties are there, then GEAC clearance is very much needed. Otherwise, it cannot be done. And whatever the fees and other things are there, you have to give it. And what is the process of registration? First, you have to apply. Then it will be scrutinized by the PPFR authority. And then once it is cleared, then you have to give the deposit the seeds, and then it will be accepted for dust testing. And you see, I'll tell in detail about these things. If it is a new variety, 2 seasons, 2 locations, and if it is a variety of common knowledge and also farmers variety, 1 season, 2 locations, and if it is a EDV, it all depends upon the authority. And if authority wants that it should be tested, then it will be tested. Otherwise, no, without testing also, they will give the IPR certificate. And the acceptance or rejection based on the distinctiveness, uniformity, and stability, the passport data that has been developed by the farming community, by the test centers, and then registration granting. This is a very simple way I have given the chart for the process of registration. And now, after the registration, once you develop the the dust data, and that variety will be notified in the plant variety production for 90 days. And once it is there is no grant of opposition for 90 days, then it will be the certificate will be granted. That is, the IPR certificate will be granted to the concerned breeder. And this, plant variety journal is a monthly publication, and it has the equivalent status of the Gazette of Government of India. And the details, you see, this is only for whatever the changes are there in the regulations, rules, and other things. It will also be published. And also the dust guidelines of crop varieties are also published in this. And once everything is passed, then we give the certificate, that is called a certificate of registration. And this will be mentioned in entered in National Register of Plant Varieties. And this is a National Register of Plant Varieties. It will be kept only in the head office. And I was talking about the duration of production of the plant varieties. If they are trees and vines, it is for 18 years, initially for 9 years, and then this can be extended to another 9 years. And other crops, it is 15 years, and initially for 6 years, and extended to 9 years. This is very important. And the extent notified varieties, say for example, in the North system, you have developed a variety, and even private companies can also contribute. And then they will go in for AICRP trials, and they will be tested in initial varietal trial or NIEVT, and then AVT for 2 years. And then it is identified by in the national workshops by a particular directorate. And once it is identified, then you will be submitting it to Government of India for notification. And there, if it is notified under seed Act, then that becomes the extent notified varieties. And these varieties, there is no need for dust testing, because already VCU testing has been done for 3 years, and also the dust guidelines have been developed by the concerned breeder. Hence, this extant notified varieties are directly registered if they fulfill all the requirement. And dust testing, as I said, the new varieties dust testing for 2 locations, 2 seasons, VCK, variety of common knowledge, 2 locations, 1 season, farmers variety, 2 locations, one season. And the EDVs I told you, that is essentially derived varieties. It all depends upon the authority, whatever the authority says. The from case to case basis, they will finalize. And particularly horticulture crops and trees and wines. The India is very unique in modifying the test procedures in sorry test procedures for trees and wines. Here, on-site dust testing system we have developed. And say, for example, if you would like to register the mango trees, and then go to the garden and look into it, and there are prescribed number of trees should be there. And 2 years, we look into the characteristics of the variety that you would like to mention, and based on that, we grant the certificate. And the gene banks are also very important. The National Bureau of Plant Genetic Resources is something different, but these gene banks of protected varieties. And we have two types. One is the gene bank for conservation of seeds, and then field gene banks, conservation of planting material. So we have the National Gene Bank. It has the Government of India Gazette notified the gene bank. This is the only bank. And the NBP should not confuse with NBPGR. NBPGR is not notified by Government of India as National Gene Bank, but whereas it is notified, and here the protected varieties are kept in this case legally. This has a legal value. And field gene banks, again, we have selected some places like Dapoli, Ranchi, then Solan, then Jaipur, Jodhpur, and there, and again some more centers were selected recently. There we are depositing the material which is which has been registered or in the process of registration in case of the particularly the horticulture crops, and then the medicinal and aromatic plants, and plantation crops and forest trees, and etc. And there are in the act uh, six offices are to be established, but now we have established five. One is Ranchi, Guwahati, Shimoga, and Palanpur. And I'm very happy to say that I could, in my tenure, I could establish the three branches. One is Shimoga, one is Pune, and Palanpur. Before, in 2012, two branches were established, Ranchi and Guwahati. The jurisdiction is also mentioned here. And they have the legal status for accepting the varieties application and other things. And the varieties which can be protected, they are the new varieties, as I said, and extant varieties. In extant varieties, there are three different types. One is notified under Seed Act, I explained. Then the farmers varieties, and third one is the variety of common knowledge. Variety of common knowledge is one, this is a very interesting thing. Say, for example, you have developed a variety and you have released in the market. And looking to the performance, if you feel that it is good, and then you can come to the authority and register. Then you will get the protection for the 15 years. And another one is essentially derived varieties. So what are the criteria for registration? It is first one is it should have to have a novelty. If at all you would like to register as a new variety, in the sense it is not in the market for more than 1 year, then it becomes a novel variety. And this is compulsory for all. Distinctiveness, it will be distinctive for at least one character, and there should be uniformity when you test in over locations, and also there should be stability. These are important. Say, for example, here, this is a red color, this is the yellow color. Like this, it should be very, very distinct, and there should not be any humpy dumpy. It should be uniform. And again, the stable, everywhere your crop should be stable and should not be influenced by the climate and other things. So these are the compulsion things. And EDV, I don't want to spend much time in this because my time is getting up. It is predominantly derived from the initial variety or EDV itself, while retaining the expression of the essential characters of the initial variety. So, for example, Bikaneri Narma, just I shall give cotton variety example. And there, the characteristics of the original Buccaneer lerma, even after adding the Bt gene, should not change except for the pest resistance, leptopteran pest resistance. That's the only thing. Mm. And it is very clearly distinguishable from initial variety by, for example, I gave the example resistance to pest. And also this is the act of derivation, and why they do it, this is needed is protect the commercial interest, say for example the bt cotton, and avoid plagiarism. This is nowadays very common, and to avoid this they develop and fill up the gap between the plant breeders rights and patents. And you see, if you have developed the gene, and you will be patenting, but how to use, how bring it to the plant variety through this method. And there are the different types of development of essentially derived varieties. That is maybe spontaneous or induced selection within a variety, backcross breeding program, and crisscross this method, and so many other things. Okay, and this is best example that I can give you. Pusa Basmati 1 was very good variety but susceptible to disease, and through this marker breeding program we could develop this variety. This is one of the best example. And even in wheat, now we have developed DWR 162, which is high accepted by not only in India but outside also, having excellent quality characters, chapati making. But now it has become susceptible to rust, and we have added rust resistant genes through marker breeding program, and we are releasing that. And so far, what is the progress of EDVs? Around 184 applications were issued, and in cotton itself 171. That is because there is a big business. And India is not a UPAO member. And how to register your varieties, make it popular, is through convention country approach. Now we are trying with the European countries to see that they become a convention country. Once they become convention country, our varieties can be registered very easily there without much complications and testing, and their varieties can also be registered here. This is a very simple thing. And again, yeah, under citizen charter, we have to notify how many years the process takes for issuing or granting the IPR certificates. We have given that extant varieties within 1 year we grant the certificate, because there is no testing and other things based on the data, and the authority will finalize. And VC case 2.5 years, farmers variety 2.5 years, and the new variety 3 years, and EDV 3 years. This is what we have already committed in the citizen charter. And the farmers' rights is one of the important rights in our act. And here, just I shall give you few important highlights of this farmers' rights. One is you can register your variety as an individual breeder. You can new varieties can also be registered, and also the farmers' variety. There is no fees at all. And also the right to use the seeds of the registered variety in unbranded form, and the community rights are there. And if farmer commits any innocent this one infringement, so it will not be considered. And also if anybody, I said, any institution would like to use the farmers variety, they have to take the permission, otherwise it will become an infringement. And compensation act also I said. And for this purpose, to promote the farmers' rights, we have established a fund called National Gene Fund. And this National Gene Fund is mainly used for the conservation and sustainable use of plant genetic resources, whether it is in situ or ex situ conditions. And we have established a lot of community seed banks also. And also this money is used for the awarding, rewarding the farming community. And so far, we have given the Plant Genome Savior Community Awards of 25, then Plant Genome Savior Farmers Rewards 33, and Plant Genome Savior Farmer Recognition 50. And now you please encourage again this year they have called for the awards, rewards, and time is February 12th or so. So you please encourage your communities for applying to these awards. And this Plant Genome Savior Community Award carries 10 lakh rupees, and this reward carries 1.5, and another one is 1 lakh rupee. So those who have made the significant contributions in conservation and improving, and also the preservation of plant genetic resources of the notified species and others also, and certainly we give the award to them. And so far, we have received around 16,490 applications, particularly when I was chairperson between 2013 to 2017-18, we could make a lot of efforts in getting the varieties application registered through the uh, uh, the the awareness programs. I'll come that. And the farmers variety, particularly I was very particular that all the farmers varieties have to be registered, because if it goes outside, and so farmers will lose their important rights. That's why I was very particular about that. And we also encouraged the private industry to register their varieties, but public institutions, in though I come from the public system, I tried my level, but we people, we are will not come forward. So what I request in this forum is that whatever the varieties you develop, kindly register your varieties in different crop species which are notified. And also we try to, before that, our process was very slow with respect to providing the granting the certificates. But 2013 onwards, we struggled very hard to see that maximum number of certificates can be granted to them. So far 3,500 certificates we have given. And here I have made one analysis. You see, so far in the public system, we have notified more than 11,000 plants, varieties in different crop species. And if you take from 2007 onwards, because at that time, then onwards, the applications were invited. Before that, we did not invite the applications for IPR, So, and from 2007 to 2015, we more than 5,000 varieties were notified by Government of India, but registration is hardly about 16%. Only 849 varieties were registered. So that's why the notified varieties also we have to get the IPR if at all you want the protection. This is very, very important. And what are the legal issues also? I would like to say, the if, say for example, if you have developed any variety and hybrid, and if you want to commercialize, and better have an MOU with the agents or the companies or whatever it may be. And there, two things are very, very important. One is, see that the agent or licensee who would like to take your variety should sign the this filing. He should file PV9, farm number PV9, so that he becomes a registered agent. And if he infringes the whatever the clause that you have given, then then you can sue a case against him. And also at the same time, you have to register about your this one also, the this the register your affidavit. That is also very, very important. And I was telling, lot of awareness program, not only to the farming community, but plant breeders is also needed. And we call dignitaries like MS Swaminath and Dr. Paroda Saab, and arranged lot many the programs called breeders rights through awareness. Plant breed, take it to the plant breeders rights to awareness program, like that. Take it to the farmer through awareness programs, like that. We have taken up a lot of programs. And in India, there are just I shall give you the picture. There are 600 seed companies roughly, and So far, this 108 companies have come forward for the registration. That is the number of applications issued is 3,441, and crops covered is 39, and MNCs only 18 crops. Because you see, these private companies, particularly, they are very much interested in high value, low volume crops. Whereas the public institutions like universities and ICR Institute, we concentrate more on high volume, low value crops like groundnuts, soybean, and other things. That is also very, very important. And here, these 180 companies who have the strong R&D out of 600 companies, they have come forward to register their varieties. And now the OECD program is one of the important program if at all you would like to export your seeds, and these are the conditions for the OECD to promote your varieties, and you should go in for that. And here I would like to spend a little more time. The Indian seed market growth is tremendous. I must appreciate that. And before 2013 or so, it's hardly about $1.42 billion worth export. The seed business was there in India, and now it has gone up to $3.6 billion business. And we expect that it may go up to $8 billion in India, and the annual average growth is 14 to 17%. And now from 18 to 23rd, 2023 onwards, the projected the growth rate, business growth rate is 14%. And we are around fourth in number if you take the global business as a whole. And global business, number one country is America, then comes China, then comes France, then India. And here, though our growth rate with respect to seed market is very good, but the problem is still we are importing a lot. Say about more than 94 million, not billion, $1 million worth seeds we are importing, though we are producing so much. And export is around $80 million, means around $14 million worth seeds, more seeds we are importing. So there is a great scope for us if you protect your varieties and then promote export, particularly to the Asian countries. There is a great scope, and also the African countries. There is a great scope. In this regard, national IPR policy was released during 2016. There, a lot of importance has been given to SOUs in capacity building and also promotion of this IPR policy. And for all these things, what I feel is there should be a strong linkage between the institutions with the PPFR authority. When I was there as a chairperson, I could struggle very hard to see that there should be a good linkage and coordination between ICR institutes, commercial seed industry. Krishi Vijnana Kendras play a very, very important with respect to registration of farmers varieties and promotion of the varieties and hybrids of the SAU system, and National Biodiversity Authority is very important, and State Development Department and Biodiversity International, etc. And if there is a strong linkage, certainly we can promote. With this, I thank you very much for your kind attention, and also I thank the University of Horticultural Sciences and particularly Dr. Ravindra Mulige for providing me an opportunity to interact with you people. And thank you very much. And if there is any problem, any questions or any comments or any clarifications, you are most welcome if the organizers permit. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for giving in detailed information starting from genesis to current status of plant variety system in India. With the permission of speaker, now the session is open for discussion. Any questions are there from participant side, means you can unmute yourself and you can ask the questions.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, I am Dr. Shashikant Thakur, Vegetable Assistant Professor of Vegetable Science, Bagalkot, sir.
Yeah, please.
Sir, as per the researchers, right? So you told us, sir, once you can use the protected varieties for research purpose. If the outcome of the research is valuable, then if I want to commercialize it, whether I have to take the permission of that original variety.
Yeah, I'll answer. As per the researchers' rights, as I said, once the use of protected variety in development of new variety, there is no need for taking permission. And if you use it subsequently, say for example, transferring the disease resistance from the protected variety to your variety, or quality traits to your variety through backcross breeding program or any other things, then the the permission of the protected breeder is very much needed. Otherwise, there is no need.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And also I would like to say, once the protection period, say for example in vegetable crops, 15 years is protection period, and once the protection period is completed, 15 years, and then that variety is in common domain, anybody can use. And also, if the protected variety breeder does not pay fees and other things, and once the authority did not protect that, and that time also you can, even before 15 years also, you can use such varieties for your breeding program.
Sir, whether where we will get the registered varieties list, sir?
Yeah, that's what I said. You know, the plant variety. I could show you the journal also. Just
That plant variety journal, whether it is.
Yeah. This is the journal. So everything is available in this, and you can refer this, and certainly you'll get the information. And also, if you go to the plant variety protection, this website, that is www.plantauthority.government.in. If you go there, there also you can get everything.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sir, good afternoon, sir. This is Dr. Satish from Horticulture University, Bagalkot, sir.
Satish, tell me.
Sir, if I am a breeder, if I register one variety saying that it gives 20 quintals per hectare, sir. Then if the farmer uses the same variety and for cultivation, if he get 15 quintals per hectare yield, there is a provision to get the compensation to the farmer has an opportunity to get the compensation, sir. So who has to give the compensation for the farmer, sir, for underperformance of the variety, sir?
Underperformance, you see, whatever the breeder has declared before the release of the variety.
Yes, sir.
The conditions where this can be grown, the seasons, and what are the precautionary measures the farmer has to take. You have mentioned everything. And if the variety, with all these things, if the variety doesn't permit, then he can approach the authority for the compensation, and also you can go to civil courts also.
Okay, sir. So whether registered breeder should give the compensation, sir?
Yes, he has to give the compensation.
Okay, sir. Sir, another doubt, sir. GI crops can be registered under this act, sir? For example,
I would like to, in fact, I forgot to add these slides of geographical indications. There are more than 34 crops, horticulture crops varieties have been identified. Have been given the status of, granted the status of GIs, and GI is different from the plant variety protection. This is number one. GI means the crop variety, if grown in that particular conditions, will have the added values. Say for example, the Nanjangoodu banana. So rasabale, the rasabale grown in that region has a special quality characteristics compared to the grown, it is grown in other things. That's why we made that geographical status indication has been given for exporting it or making it business and other things. So nobody can copy that. But plant variety production, that this geographical indication is not given to an individual, but it is given to the community as a whole. And in that conditions, the registration of any varieties of that, if you make any selection, then you can register the varieties in name in different names. And that too, the credit goes to the community. And if you make any innovations, changes, anything, distinctiveness is there in that variety, then that variety can be made, but you will not get the GI tag.
So GI crops can be registered in the protected under PPFR Act in the name of community.
That's what I answered to your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Hello, sir. Namaste, sir.
Namaste ji.
Sir, this is Mahantesh, sir, from University of Horticulture Sciences, Bagalkot.
Tell me, sir.
Sir, like does now we could see that descriptor, sir. Hello?
Tell me.
Sir,
Tell me.
A descriptor, sir. Even we could see it even IHR. They are also mentioning some of the crops descriptors. So that does and descriptors do they follow the same, sir? Just I wanted to get it clear, sir.
Yeah. You see, once we identify the crop looking to the importance in the Indian economy, we ask the particular institute to develop the guidelines. Say, for example, IHR.
Yes, sir.
We have given many things, many crops we have given. So there, they will develop the descriptors first, which are the character, descriptor means characters, which are the characters that we have take it as the unique character for the DUS guidelines, distinctiveness. So particular character should be distinct or distinct. There should be distinctiveness in that particular character compared to already released varieties. For that purpose, we use the descriptors, that is to distinguish from the existing variety with the variety developed by the breeder, new variety developed by the breeder. So for that purpose, we use the descriptors. So you understood? Descriptors
Yes,
are developed before notifying that crop variety for registration.
Oh.
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Hello.
Tell me.
Sir, good afternoon, sir. Sir, actually, are there
Your name?
I'm Dr. Raghu from US Bangalore, sir. Sir, few farmers are maintaining traditional traditional varieties, sir. Are there any opportunities to get incentives for those farmers, sir? Like
I'll come to that. I already told Plant Genome Savior Awards are given to them. Plant Genome Savior community, if the community is protecting the varieties, then they will get 10 lakh rupees. Plant Genome Savior community, that community will get the award. And if the individual farmer is protecting the variety, then he will get Plant Genome Savior the farmer award and reward. It is 1.5 lakh and 1 lakh rupee respectively.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Any other things?
Hello, good afternoon, sir. Myself, MS Patil from Solapur, Maharashtra, sir.
Bataiye.
Sir, I want to ask you the practical based question because in practical based question, sir, my query is.
बताइए.
सर यहाँ पे एक फार्मर है सर कसपटे करके.
कस्टर्ड उनको हमने दिया है, हमने उनको कस्टर्ड एप्पल में उनको दिया है ना. मैंने पर्सनली आया था उधर 2017 में उनको अवार्ड दिया है हमने.
जी सर, नहीं वो बात नहीं है सर. Because for the release of his variety, whatever the propagation material he has, whatever the farmers has taken from his variety, so they have multiplied it. Now he has lodged a complaint against the farmers or the nurserymen that no one should propagate my material.
नहीं ऐसा है ना, या if he has registered that variety with the PPFR authority, then the restriction comes to the notified nursery, not individual farmer.
अच्छा,
पहले ये उनको बताइए, उनसे बताइए, मुझे ऐसा करिए, एक मुझे लेटर भेज दीजिए rrhanchinal@gmail.com, rrhanchinal@redicmail.com, मैं आपको आंसर दे दूंगा. आई नो कसपटे बारसी में है उनका.
yes. I'm belong to that district only, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
हाँ, thank you. Any other questions?
Dr. Dhananjay, if no questions,
Yeah.
I think Sir has already given the Gmail. They can contact.
Hello. हाँ, बताइए. नहीं तो.
Hello. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Myself Bhav Kumar Sinha, sir. Good afternoon, sir. From Sukas, Jammu, sir.
सुकाश जम्मू. बताइए भाई साहब.
Hello, sir. Hello.
बताइए, ठंड बहुत लग रहा है क्या?
हाँ सर.
सर आई एम हियरिंग यू.
नहीं ठंड तो सर है, ठंड बहुत है सर.
ठंड में आवाज नहीं आ रहा है क्या?
I have grown one crop. I grown one crop from that is passion fruit, and the seed.
Passion fruit हमने रजिस्टर अभी हमने अनाउंस
collected from Kerala.
नहीं ऐसा है ना, passion fruit हमने नोटिफाई नहीं किया.
Collected from Kerala.
हाँ
जी.
हाँ बताइए.
Passion fruit, the seed has been collected from Kerala and growing in the Jammu region, right, sir? At different places. So can we develop some variety and register some variety for this region by growing 1 to 3 years? After growing 1 to 3 years.
I'll answer to your question. Passion fruit crop is not notified, and you can certainly use. You can certainly use. There is no restriction.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, bhai sahab.
That was my question, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for.
Hello, Dhananjay.
Yes, sir. Please, sir. Please.
Suresh Patil ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀನಿ.
Please, sir. Please.
So may I thank the organizers and all the those who have participated in the webinar for providing me an opportunity to talk to you, and whatever little I know, I could give the information to you. So I once again profusely thank particularly Ravindraji and the other people also. Thank you very much.
Sir, there is one question. It seems Dr. Suresh Patil, Dean, College of Agriculture, Kalburgi.
Sir, good morning, sir. Anjana, sir.
बताइए सुरेश जी, how are you? ಹೇಗಿದ್ದೀರಾ?
Sir, I am fine, sir. How are you?